that actually when like defenders, I think it's like.
People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. It's very appreciative. I'm very appreciative, better yet, and I appreciate it. Now, obviously, Arsenal fans, I could get used to this winning thing. I could get used to being fourth and beyond. I could get used to having belief, consistency, and application from my team. Listen, I don't want to be proud of achieving nothing, because when we remove emotion, that's essentially what we've done. We've turned our season around. We've shut up some critics. We've done a lot of good things, but it's not done yet. Same way we had to, get ourselves out of that negative situation, and that was a somewhat like a part of the story. This is part of the story. All that's going to matter is the facts. Where we started last season, where we started in August, where we finish in May. We've clawed our season back. Togetherness in all aspects of this football club, consistency from players individually, collectively, everything, the minimums that we wanted to see, we're seeing it. The bar was on the floor, it's been risen now to a certain level. Now we can kind of judge it away from negatively what we used to be and what we are now, and now level it out with what's supposed to be with a team getting to that standard. And I'd say I'm happy with March. I would say in terms of improvement, you want to see, for me, my strikers score goals. I'm loving what the Haaland boys are doing. I'm loving when other people are chipping in. I'm loving what the strikers are, Lacazette is assisting and that. But we're at that stage now where we need you to just do your job. I'm happy for those that came into the side, exaggerating a lot because Leno's only played 90 minutes, but came in, kept a clean sheet. Cedric, I feel there's been moments of areas of improvement, but this is certainly your best period as an Arsenal player, or the period where I've had the most faith in you as an Arsenal player, and you're taking your chances. And that's what I like, the togetherness. Of course, everyone wants to play. Some people will probably leave at the end of the season. It's impossible to keep players happy. In a sense, everybody wants to play. Everyone feels they should be doing more. Everyone has more in life. Everyone's got more of a self-importance than they believe. But whether it's the regulars, whether it's people that have just come in, whether it's, of all denominations in the squad, I'm seeing togetherness. I'm seeing pride. So much so, the most criticism you could say is that people are getting vexed at us for celebrating. When there's celebration, police, you're doing all right. We're seeing reasons to trust the process, etc. Maybe a lot of it was circumstantial last season, but I would say for me with Mikel Arteta, I'm seeing you right a lot of wrongs. Like the way you're handling players of all aspects. Now, you might have needed to get some guys out, but how you're managing man management wise, and it's almost impossible, but you're keeping people on side. You're playing the same team when you can. There's more creativity required. Now, long term, we'd all like a number 8, a number 9. Me personally, a number 8, because we're still over relying on our centre backs to provide some sort of forward passes and maybe overcompensate. Our creativity really is coming from wide areas, or it's sponsoring the wide areas. The most you'll get is Odegaard linking up with Saka and denominations of such. I would like us to play through central areas. I do think our game management has to improve a bit, whether it's games we start well, like Leicester, first 20 killed the game. I felt against Watford, we just needed across all aspects, conceding cheap goals, which has been a problem. Liverpool, judging us to slightly higher standards, taking your half chances, because in short, that's what made the difference against Liverpool. And then obviously in our last game before we went off to the international break, we kept a clean sheet. But again, just killing the game a bit more, because Villa were poor. We had and that, but just making sure there's no breathing room. And I just feel when everything is going right and we're keeping clean sheets, the fans, them are making noise, we're doing our thing. It's not that we take our foot off the gas, but kill games. Watford, we could have, there's been games, could have, would have, should have aren't facts, but we could have got less out of that game than we might have deserved. So I would say just kill games. Like even in our last one against Leicester, Saka and Lacazette second half, let's make sure them balls go in the back of the net and make sure the scoreline reflects the dominating performances. Now, obviously, it would have been nice to keep winning. And, right now we sit, again, May's all that matters. We sit full, 4 points clear during this international break. This is the most testing period now. It's come to 10 games left. We all know what happened once in a season when we had 10 games. We've got 10 games left. We've got some injuries coming into play. Leno's going to have to step up. Ramsdale's out for a few weeks, allegedly. That concerns me, because not necessarily because of Leno, even though I'm concerned about how we, set pieces and things like that. I think he, like Martinez, Ramsdale likes to catch. Leno doesn't. And I think, I don't know if our set piece reflection is going to keep featuring Leno, although he's been in training. I don't think Leno's bad with his ball at his feet, but his distribution hasn't got anything on Ramsdale. And you saw in the last game, it kind of Saka and that don't really have much to work with. So I'm keen to see that how that happens. And this is just obviously the period you'd want to see Ramsdale and Tomiyasu there. But injuries, these things happen in the season. We're doing all right. We're getting the results. It would have been nice to get something out of Liverpool or at least ruin the clean sheet. All we got is Martinelli having a decent time against Trent, but out of potential 3 points, bro, we got 3 wins, 9 points. The one we did lose was Liverpool. It is what it is. There's a golfing class beyond everything. So it is what it is, you know. Isolated to Liverpool and big games and other things, there's many a thing we can improve on. But from 3 wins, nine points from a potential 12. I think we've been winning away from home, taking care of business. Right now, we're in pole position and we've got it all to play for. We've just got to keep doing what we're doing, in short. That's it. We've got a target on our back. We're no longer the most best performing team of the chasing pack. We're there. The only way is up. Hopefully Chelsea make that one day open as well, but the only way is realistically down, people. So it is what it is, man, and there's reasons to be optimistic. I ain't showed the Google sheet for time, people. Is this really the right one? Sorry, folks. I think it is the right one. So yeah, sorry, folks. Where's it gone? Let's get that back. Sorry, man. As you can see, 1, 2 tabs too many. But yeah, these are just literally my personal notes. That's Aaron Hickney, so that's for another video. But yeah, as you could see, people, you know what, we beat Wolves, we beat Watford, we beat Leicester, we beat Villa, 2 clean sheets. I do think we should have kept one against Watford. I do think Wolves, we reacted, but yeah, we've conceded some cheap goals, I would say, even as good as Liverpool were. They were handed those goals, managing games, following runners, switching on for 90 minutes. Still, days are areas for our young squad to improve, but we took care of business, beat Wolves, beat Watford, beat Leicester, beat Villa. You'll take that losing to Liverpool. It is what it is. In terms of improvements, again, trying to nitpick, do you think we could have had a clean sheet against these two, with what went on in those games there? Game management, as I said, forwards, I would like them to score more. The month to come is brazy as well, people. Our next 6 games are brazy. As I said, we've got a target on our back. We've got 10 games left. We're getting injuries. There's 15 points up for grabs, excluding the North London derby. So I'm loving the togetherness and all these things, but it's never been more important now than ever. Crystal Palace away against a performing Vieira side. You've got Brighton at home. You've got Southampton away, Chelsea away, United at home this month. We're away from home more than we're at home. Now, our away fans, just like our home fans, make beer noise, support the thing, and are doing their jobs. But we're going to need them. We're going to need to show great courage. Southampton, you need to win, even though I'm scared shitless of St. Mary's. Crystal Palace on the best of days is scary. Brighton at home's a bit of a bogey one. United is up for grabs. We've got Chelsea. You need to get something out of that. There's a potential 15 points up for grabs, really. If I had to scrutinize it, you've got to take it. You've got to beat Brighton and Southampton. Brighton, Southampton, you need 6 points, respectfully. I'd say 6 to 9. You need 6 points. From the first 3 games, you need 6 points. Nothing less. United, I do think we need to beat them. Chelsea, get something with it. Players of the month for me, I'd probably say Saka for me, Partey, Martin Odegaard. I think Xhaka's been good. Shout out Cedric as well. Hail him up as well. I think Martinelli and White have been good as well. Hail up Cedric for when he's coming to the team. We've all done well in it, whether they're coming off the bench like Holding, not really involved, but getting a chance like Cedric, Leno, which again, the sample size is small. Is what it is. And for me, it's lovely to see our young players getting called up. Lovely to see Saka and Odegaard's link-up play. Partey doing well. There's more togetherness there. We've scored 6 goals this month. We only failed to score against Liverpool. The young players are still very, in a positive way, you're surprising me with your levels of consistency. But at the same time, we know they're volatile. Same way this season, they've gone through a long time being like this. Next season, they might go through a time where they're not able to. Even the best players that happens to. So it is what it is. And I think Saka's in there with PFA Player of the Season, Young Player of the Year shouts, man. Really, I don't think he'll win it, but it is what it is. I wanted to go all the way back to find something that I spoke about online, people, but it is what it is. Now, why we can't get excited, I want these players who, the large part of them weren't involved in it, but Arsenal fans, you remember this from our last 10 games. After we beat United and it was wavy, you saw what happened after, out of a potential how many points, we only claimed 2 draws. So again, this is what we need to remember. If we just keep doing what we're doing, if we drop points, don't get excited. If we lose, if we win, don't get excited. Just keep doing what you're doing. Everyone keep playing with a point to prove. And You know, togetherness spirit, it will take you far. To get top 4 would be a massive achievement, but that's all it is. You don't get medals. You can't. Well, I wouldn't if I was a footballer. You know, when I retire, I'm not going to say that season we became top 4, but what it is a platform. Being in the Champions League is a good reward for some of these players and young players who haven't. It buys into the ambition. It can, you know, get players for us. We need to get Europe. And technically, top 4, top 6, or worse, is still, they're all possibilities. So let's make sure that we're writing the narrative we want. And we can't do that without working hard. So I hope every player that isn't involved in international duty enjoys their period away on training and relaxing. If that's the case, I hope everyone gets opportunities for their country and doesn't get any injuries. And we come back and it is what it is. Fingers crossed it's more positive when we come back with Tomiyasu and Ramsdale. But yeah, that's all I've got to say about that one there, people, man. Yeah, man. I tried to aim for 8 minutes. I'm getting better because it's 10 or so minutes. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say, man. So yeah, it's a big month for football, really and truly. It's a massive month for football. I just want to confirm we've got all the April fixtures locked in for you guys, people. Like, as you can see, or let me just make sure, you've got Crystal Palace away, Brighton at home, Southampton at, away, Chelsea away, Manchester United at home, and then obviously May the 1st we're away to West Ham. So I know many people will look to those 3 games at the tail end of the month, you know, starting with Southampton, and then you're not ending the month with United, sandwiched in between Chelsea away, and that's true. The 3 games going into, including May the 1st against West Ham. So West Ham, Chelsea, United. But we need to bully respectfully. You need to put it up against Palace, because you dropped silly points in that game at home. Don't let that be the case. You need to get 3 points off Brighton. You need to confirm something against Southampton. None of them are going to give you 3 points. You now need to earn it. You've got a target on your back. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, I don't want this turnaround in form to be seasonal. I want you lot to look back in May with some achievement and something to build upon, and a positive season for Arsenal. It is what it is. And obviously we've got the North London derby whenever that's going to come back in. So injuries, these things are kind of happening at the worst time, but it is what it is. On that note, that's all I've got to say, folks, man.
There's always that active and defending. I think it's like